Russ, and I'm here today with Mr. Mark Von Mooser, who is our Director of Sales here at Clients on Demand. So welcome. How's everybody doing? Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest myths that we see just bandied around by everybody, really. I mean, I was just online the other day and I saw that, a really well-known sales guru was recommending that people follow up. I think it was 16 times. You should follow up with every prospect 16 times on your sales calls or something like that. And guys, look, we just really, really, really don't believe in this at all. And we don't believe in it for a lot of reasons that we're going to talk about. But one of the things that you guys need to understand is that we're running a business where we're doing between $1 million and $1.5 million a month. We're doing exclusively high ticket sales. 40% of our enrollments happen on day zero. And what we mean by that is that someone clicks an ad, someone watches our webinar or presentation, they book a phone call, and they enroll that day at a high ticket price. And something like 80% of our enrollments are people that have never even, probably even higher than that, Mark's probably 90%, are people that have never heard of us and never had any interaction with us prior to clicking on the ad. So these results fly right in the face of conventional wisdom, right? So conventional wisdom on the marketing side says that you need to spend 6 months, a year building a relationship, getting to the point where they know, like, and trust you, where you have to create all of this like celebrity authority and all this other stuff. And then maybe at some point they will eventually invest money with you, right? So in our marketing, we've proven that that's nonsense. It's not true. But on the sales side of things, there's a similar myth, and that myth is this myth of follow-ups, that most sales happen on the 7th conversation, or most sales happen on the 16th conversation. And if you're not following up with your prospect 16 times, you're leaving all this money on the table. Well, we're here to tell you today that all of that is BS. It's just nonsense. If you know how to enroll people, and your marketing is dialed in and your sales are dialed in, you should be able to enroll people even at a premium price, even at a high ticket price on the very first conversation. On the very first conversation. And so if you're not doing that and you don't have the ability to do that, the solution is not to follow up more and more and more and more until you wear these people down. The solution is to increase your value and get better in your marketing and get better at how you're handling those enrollment calls. So, Mark, welcome to the call, man. This is a big topic for us today.
Excited. I've been dealing with this, Russ, and this is one of those last vestiges of the old, outdated, antiquated type sales process. And it's almost embarrassing if you truly understand why. I remember dealing with this, Russ, this exact same thing back in real estate. They said the same thing in the 80s. It's like, if you're not following up with these sellers 5 times, 10 times, you're leaving money on the business. Well, for the untrained, that's true. But for somebody that understands the paradigm, how did I go and then shift so that I could make one call, one appointment, get one listing, and never have to do follow-ups? And it's like, so the reality is it's a very powerful topic. And it is so much more damaging to people that own businesses or in sales than they even realize. And what's ironic is, yes, I can automate it then, but I go back to what I do best. And that's when you get really good and you understand this paradigm, you can make it work to you. And again, on one hand, I'm reluctant to go ahead and shout from the mountaintops because in a way, I kind of like that our competitors and everyone else out there still thinks that's the secret.
Right.
But guys, if you're listening to this, I kid you not, this is going to blow you away, because it's one of those things where when you get it, you can now start putting your time, your focus on the areas that matter. And it doesn't have to require 16 follow-ups. What if you never had to do follow-ups again? And what if 95% of your enrollments came on the very first call? How cool would that be? Because that's really what we're talking about.
I mean, just doing the math on it, it is literally humanly impossible to follow up even 7 times with each potential prospect. If you're getting the amount of calls booked that we're getting at the level of interest that we're getting them. And again, guys, that's got a lot to do with the fact that our marketing is dialed in. So when someone reaches out to work with us, they're, a long part of the way, toward being ready to go, because the marketing is dialed in properly. But even if we wanted to follow up with each prospect, even 7 times, the resources just aren't there. We're too busy enrolling people. We're too busy making sales. And if you're a solopreneur and you don't have a big team, that's doubly true for you. So I don't want you to be living this life, guys, where you're spending every single day chasing and chasing and chasing these potential clients in order to get a sale. I don't want you guys living a life where you're hounding these people constantly and sacrificing your time and sacrificing your freedom just to get somebody to enroll. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be so dialed in that you have one conversation, and on that first conversation, a decision is made. Either they enroll in your program or they don't, or you decide they're a fit or you don't. That's it. There shouldn't be all of these endless follow-ups. And so what we want to do at Clients on Demand is set you free from having to do that, because it sucks and it's a waste of time. And it's a waste of your time and it's a waste of their time.
It's also damaging to the psyche of the person doing the follow-ups. One of the biggest elephants in the room for human beings that are in the field of sales. It's part of why we talk about stop selling and start to enroll them in their dream. But there is a damage every time I reach back out to you and it feels, hi, Russ Ruffino. I was just following up to see if you're ready to go ahead and take a look at our program. And have you had a chance to look at our proposal? And it's like, you just don't feel good, because I feel like there's another rejection. If the first rejection wasn't bad enough, let's make it really good and then call you back so you can insult me or make me feel like shit another 16 times. Now I have a new prospect. How good am I going to be for the one that I could have got? I'm just now beat down.
So this is really, really important, you guys, because here's the thing. If you're doing your own enrollments, which most of you probably are, look, there are some people who have this sort of sales gene where they are just completely immune to rejection, right? So these are the people that can work for these big telemarketing companies, and they put a phone book full of leads in front of you and you just smile and dial, baby. Call. Now, every call you're getting hung up on. Every call people are swearing at you. Every call people are going, never call me again. And you just pick up the phone and you just keep calling and calling and calling, right? So some people can do that. Some people can go work for these big telemarketing companies. They're just immune to rejection. They have this mental armor where it doesn't affect them, right? Most of those people do not have a high level of empathy. And most great coaches have a high level of empathy. So if you're a coach and you're trying to get great results for your clients, or you're a coach who really cares about your clients, you probably don't have the mental armor where you're going to follow up with people 7 times and get shot down 7 times and keep picking up the phone and keep doing that. But the good news that we have for you is that you don't need to be that person. You don't need to have that sales gene. You can be a normal, caring, high integrity human being and be phenomenal at this if you know how to sell properly. Because if you know how to sell properly, you're not going to get shot down 7 times for every yes. You're going to have one conversation. You're going to make a decision about whether you want to make an offer. And if you make an offer, those people are going to enroll.
Yeah. And the other one that we do, which we also teach in COD, is how to win on every call.
Exactly.
So that's the next step. We aren't going to get into it today's call, but the people in our program, that's a big part, is what if you could win every single call? And that's like the next step. But first you got to get your head around, guys, that if I've identified, and Russ is that we talked about it, but there are certain key reasons, causes for this, but it's going to cost you, and it's going to cost you big. And part of the reason you dread the process of sales the way it's been done is because the thought of having to get no and then follow up and have them tell me, stop calling. I went with someone else. I decided not to do it. That just doesn't feel good. Mm-mm. And when then I have to jump on and try and inspire people in transformation, and next thing you know, you're going to find ways to not do it. And that I've watched this 1,000 times. I actually was the guy that I had no other choice. So I was the guy with thick skin who could do it, where I did it, but it never felt right, because I was like, but I didn't do follow-ups either. I also figured out how to get really good on one call or one presentation. That's where I put my time, because I didn't want to follow up. I was not good at it. It felt like crap. But if I got really good and I understood how to create a structure and I understood how to focus, you did a great talk yesterday with Adrian about urgency. It's the best I've ever heard. You were talking, everyone else gives FAUX, F-A-U-X, certainty or scarcity, urgency. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, but wait, if you act now, I've got room for 2 more spaces. That's BS. Anyone with an IQ over 10 knows that's bullshit. But what you did that I've never heard anybody say was real urgency and scarcity is about the problem.
Yes.
No one talks about that. That's the key. When I get to the point of the problem and it's like, look, you're not going to get that cancer tumor removed because I have a fast action discount today, or I'm going to give you 50 cents off today if we do surgery today. You're going to have surgery because if you don't, you'll die. It's not because you get a free gown or because you get free Jello. You do it because you're going to need to get that removed. And this is where the old way and the new way are coming into conflict.
So let's talk about this, Mark. Let's talk about this power of, look, guys, we don't have time to give you a full-blown tutorial about how to make one call enrollments right now. But I do want to introduce you to one concept that's very, very powerful. And that concept is this idea of the doctor frame. So Mark, you just brought up this idea, right? The idea is I have heart trouble. I go see you. You're the doctor. I'm telling you, hey, doctor, these are my symptoms. And you're just really honestly telling me, hey, you want to fix this problem? Here's what you need to do. Do you want to do it or not? You're not trying to sell me. You're not sitting there going, well, man, I hope I can make some money off this guy. You're a doctor. You care. You see the situation. You see the reality, and you're giving me your expert opinion. That is the way that you guys need to handle sales calls. That's the way that you guys need to handle enrollment calls, is you ask them, what is going on? What's going on? Whatever the problem is that you solve. If you're a relationship coach, tell me what's going on in your marriage. What's not working in your marriage? What's going on between you and your wife? How long has this been happening? Et cetera, et cetera. And then if I feel that I can help you fix this problem, I'm going to tell you what to do next. But I'm not going to be so selfish that I'm concerned about sell no matter what. It's you understand the difference, guys? It's us putting our heads together to solve the problem, just like you do in a doctor's office. Now, here's the reason that follow-ups can be so destructive, because the doctor's not going to keep calling you and calling you and calling you and say, hey, do you want to get that heart surgery? You want to get that heart surgery? I could really use the money, man. You want to get, you want to get that heart surgery? It's like, no, the doctor's gonna.
He's already working with the person that needs it.
That's right. He's going to come to you and say, listen, man, this is what you need to do in my expert medical opinion. Do you want to do this or not? And it's that simple. And if he does this properly, he's going to create massive trust. He's going to create massive authority. You're going to believe every word he's saying because you understand that fundamentally he has your best interests at heart. That's the way that we teach our clients to do sales. It is the polar opposite of the way that it's generally been done in the past, where it's this high pressure, fast talking, super high charisma thing where I'm going to pressure you and wear you down until you finally just say, hey, F it, and give me your money. That's the opposite of what we want. What we want is to have a real conversation. I want to get to know you. I want to find out what's going on. I want to find out what the problems are. I want to make a decision about whether or not I can help. If I can help, I'm going to tell you. If I can't, I'm going to tell you. But if I can help and you understand what's at stake and you understand what the problem is, there should be a very easy decision for you to say, I want to fix this problem. And I shouldn't have to hunt you down, and I shouldn't have to chase you down, and I shouldn't have to follow up with you 8 or 10 times to get you to say yes, because we all understand what's going on. We're in sync. We're in sync about what's really going on in your life. We understand each other completely. And do you understand why that's such a powerful way to set up a coaching relationship? It's so much more powerful than to say, well, I'm going to hustle and hustle and hustle and grind until I wear you down and you finally say yes. I don't want my relationships to start out that way, because now I'm chasing. And eventually you go, fine, I'll enroll. Fine, I'll sign up. And then you come into the program now with all of this like cocky, resistant energy. That's a terrible, terrible foundation for a coaching relationship. It's a terrible foundation for any business relationship, honestly, but especially a relationship where I'm supposed to get you results and I'm supposed to get you an outcome. And all I did was wear you down. And now you're here going, okay, Russ, what do you got for me? That's the last kind of relationship I want with my clients. I want it to be like, I'm crystal clear. I know you backwards and forwards. I know exactly what you're going through. You know how I can help. And we've both decided together, cool, this is a fit. Let's get together. Let's kick some ass. Let's solve this problem. Now you're going to show up going, Russ, what do I do? Tell me. What should I do next? What's step 1? What's phase 1? Where do we get started? That's what I want. You give me that and I can get you incredible results. But if I follow up with you again and again and I have to wear you down to get you to say yes, it kills the whole relationship. Does that make sense, guys?
I remember in different places, I remember hearing people literally going to the client going, well, you know what? I really need a sale. I really need a sale right now. I haven't had a sale and I'm going to get, and it's like, really? And that's kind of the energy you start moving into when you're following up, following up, following up. Hey, Russ, I'm just following up, and hey, Russ, hey, have you thought about our offer? Hey, Russ, and it's like also it starts giving me uncertainty as a client. It's
Yeah,
like, how the
yeah.
hell do you have time to keep begging me?
That's right. If this guy's such a great coach and this guy's so
Exactly.
busy and this guy's so successful, why the hell does he have time to keep calling me and calling me and calling me and calling me? Doesn't he have other clients he needs to be helping? Shouldn't he be
Yeah,
focused on them? And the
exactly.
answer to that is you're damn right.
People
Like
want
you
what they
guys,
can't have.
right.
That's a
You got
human deal.
that's exactly right. But you guys in your business, that's why this strategy, this sort of wear you down strategy is so destructive, because if you are running a business, your number one priority should be serving the clients you have now. It shouldn't be going out there and getting more. And so I don't have time to take care of and serve the clients I have and follow up with every prospect 16 times. It is not humanly possible. So if I'm on the phone with you and I'm calling you back and calling you back and calling you back, you're eventually going to go, wait a minute, man, doesn't this guy have clients he has to take care of? If this guy's such a big shot and this guy's so successful, doesn't he? Aren't there other? I mean, how come he has this much time to chase me down? And that person would be absolutely right. So the strategy needs to be serve your clients and have a sales process that's lean enough and fast enough that it enrolls the right people on the very first conversation. Not the 10th, not the 12th, definitely not the 16th, on the very first conversation.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's like, guys, when we were putting together the structure about really how do you get them to the truth? How do we get them? And again, you talked about it yesterday. How do we get them to the truth of the problem? Have an honest conversation. Let the truth kind of lead it where it goes. And there is a system for that. But one of the reasons why people have to do follow-ups is it's a huge break in their structure, their certainty, and their syntax. That's a big frickin' problem. Their entire structure of their sales call, of their sales presentation, is to talk about features and benefits. Let's try and enroll them on price. Let's go ahead and do this. And it's like, then when you stack that with weak skill and weak certainty, you're in for a tough time.
So let me just give them, Mark, let me pull something out of what you just said, because I really want to give you guys a sort of high level way of thinking about your business. The fundamental question of the business is, why should they buy from you? Right? Why should they buy from you? And so many answers to that question are just the wrong answer. So there's a lot of people out there that'll talk about celebrity authority. And really what you're saying is, sign up with me because I'm famous. Sign up with me because I'm a celebrity. Sign up with me because I have 50 bajillion Instagram followers or whatever, right? Another one is to say, well, sign up with me because I wore you down. Sign up with me because I followed up with you. Sign up with me because I put so much pressure on you. Sign up with me because I'm giving you these bonuses. Sign up with me because there's a deadline, or sign up with me because, there's all this fake scarcity and there's only 3 spots available. None of those, even if they get you to yes, none of those are as effective as saying, sign up with me because you have this problem and together we can fix it. Any other foundation for the sale is weak. Any other foundation for the sale has the potential to poison your business. You understand, guys? And that's what this whole thing of following up and wearing people down, it's where it comes from. It's because fundamentally the reason they're giving you to buy from you is a weak ass reason. The right reason, the strong reason, is that it is the truth that you have a certain problem and I can help you fix it. Period. End of story. Now, to do that properly, guys, you got to be honest with yourself. And you have to be honest with the client too, where if you're on the phone with them and you can't help them and they're not a fit, you tell them. You turn down that business. You say, no, you know what? It's not a fit. I love you. I would love to be able to help, but this just isn't what I do. Even if they're sitting there with their credit card in hand going, no, Russ, I want to sign up with you because you have 50 billion Instagram followers and I think you're famous and I think you're cool. Can I please give you some money? The answer is no. You understand? That takes responsibility. So it's got to be grounded in the truth. But if it's grounded in the truth, and the truth is that you have a problem and I can help you fix it, great. That's the way that you want to be selling. That's the way you want to be enrolling people, because anything else pollutes the relationship.
It really does. And it's when you accept the responsibility, when you take $1 for somebody, you also take the responsibility to get them and help do everything you can to help them get the outcome. And too many of the businesses today don't even focus on that at all. Mm-hmm. Their entire focus, not only is it off on the sales structure, it's off on the whole foundation of their company. How many people did I sign up? Well, that's a different question than how many people did I help get the outcome?
Right.
On one, they make all the money. They aren't even asking about how are my clients doing. The other one is how are we doing getting clients outcomes? And it's the same thing with the structure. And so what you're talking about is the key foundational piece to this. And it's like when I can focus on the problem and the urgency of the problem and helping you solve it, I build certainty. The other way breaks certainty. Then I also build skill because I get so good at identifying the problem and all of the consequences that are around. And next thing you know, it's like the transaction, and the transaction is a precursor to how effective you're going to be as the coach and the result. So if you got a crappy foundation, you're begging them, and then they get in there, here's what you're going to get. Arms crossed, maybe they'll show up on a call, maybe they'll do it, because if they can't make a decision to solve the problem, because you didn't even talk about it really. You talked about your price break and your discount and your guarantees and your all that nonsense. But wait, there's more. I'm going to give you free steak knives, and you can keep those steak knives even if I don't get you the outcome. And it's like, if that's the presence, the entire time I'm looking, how do I keep the steak knives and get my money back? That's different than we are going to get you to help you get the outcome. Mm-hmm. And so in your entire foundation, you will get better results once you get your head around this.
Yep. Look, the way you start is the way you finish. With most relationships, I've never heard a story where a friend of mine went out with a girl, or went out with a girlfriend of mine went out with a guy, and the guy was a complete and total jerk on the first date and then ended up being this amazing person. It just doesn't work that way. The way you start is the way you finish. The way you start that relationship, it's like, that's probably a pretty good indicator of where things are going to go. So if you start that relationship on the wrong foot, where you're trying to get them to sign up with you for the wrong reasons, even if you get the yes, that relationship is already broken and it's only going to go downhill from there. But if you build the relationship on, hey, here's the problem we're going to fix, here's what it's going to take to fix it. So there's no BS. It's like, look, I'm telling you, I'm going to give you the best strategy in the world. I'm going to give you world-class support. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to walk through this. But here's what I need from you. You got to show up. You got to do the work. You got to do every freaking thing I tell you to do. And when you get stuck, you got to reach out. Can you do that? Yes. Great. Let's work together. That's a solid foundation for a relationship. But it requires you to be honest. It requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to tell the truth, not sugarcoat it, not say, oh, it's so easy, anybody can do it. Oh, yeah, my 95-year-old grandma could do it, blah, 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 blah. No, it requires you to be real with people. The way you start that relationship is the way you're going to finish that relationship. So if you start that relationship in neediness and weirdness and deceit, that's exactly where that relationship is going to go. But if you're straight up real with people, tell me what's going on with you. What's working? What's not working? What's the problems that you have? And you're honest. Hey, you know what? I know how to fix that. But here's what it's going to take. I'm going to do this and you're going to do this. Cool? Great. And that's the way you set up the relationship. You're going to finish like a rock star.
It's a big deal. I remember I've heard this with various oncologists, some of the top oncologists in the world, cancer doctors, gastroenterologists, surgeons, and stuff like that. If, for example, if you had 500 people waiting to get in your 40 slots, how picky would you be for those people? But if you've only got one person in the next 3 months scheduled, you're coming across as, is this the doctor I need to do my surgery? You want to be with the doctor that everybody wants to. And I've seen this before where doctors are saying, look, Russ, you keep smoking, you keep drinking. I've got 500 people that have stage 4 cancer. I don't have time to waste mine on you if you won't change the cause. Now, if you're going to change your diet, change your smoking, stop drinking, then I can do it. But if you can't agree to that, I've got 500 people that will. And there's a certain amount of truth in that conversation that doesn't happen where you're like, oh, please, Russ, can I do your surgery? I just got out of med
Yeah.
school. I'm going to give you a 50% discount right now. I'm even giving you free gown. I'll even give you free Jello. You'd be like, this is my surgery. This is my, what was the one you said about cataract surgery?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
the one
your discount laser eye surgery.
for $97?
Yeah.
Yeah, that gives me confidence.
I know, because I had a friend that wanted to do it. They were like, no, I saw this coupon in the newspaper and I'm going to go down to Tijuana and I'm going to get my laser eye surgery. And I was like, bro, back up the bread truck. Like, when you're talking about your eyes, this is where you want to go with the most expensive option out there. Like, I'm not trying to save money having some fool do lasers on my eyes, you know? Like,
And that's
but
what
you
you
see the
get.
same thing in the coaching space where it's like, I don't want to attract the people that are looking to save a buck. I want to attract the people that are serious about solving the problem.
That's exactly right. So, the other one, Russ, the reason I've always hated this whole myth of follow up, because the one thing you will never get back is your time. And this is a big one. And what I noticed was I talked to somebody who's very, very successful. One of the guys I trained now runs like a $20 million department for a very, very big firm. He has the best sales team out of their entire group. And we did the math on time because that's what they taught him. And this is a person that everybody on this call would know. And so all of a sudden, he starts counting the time for the follow-ups. He had the belief. So he took the time. He caught a stopwatch and timed every email follow-up, every time to write those emails, to check the emails. And he found that for a 1.5 hour call, he was spending approximately 6 to 10 hours worth of follow-up time. And his percentages of enrolling out of those was very low. He realized the bulk of his enrollments came on the one call. The bulk of his time, however, was spent in follow-ups with the least return on time. And so what he realized, if he was going to scale his income, he had to get better at the front of the call, automate or do whatever, but he stopped worrying about it. Because when he was making calls up front, he was worth about $10,000 an hour. When he did follow-ups, he was worth about $20 an hour. So you only have 168 hours a week. So even if you get 1 out of 10 of the follow-ups, you lost 10 over here. And what happens though is it dilutes your time and your total net worth and your total income.
That's right, guys. It just doesn't. So it's. I hope that we've convinced you that model of do the call, follow up. It's broken on so many levels. It doesn't, and it just doesn't have to be that hard. You can literally set up a system in your business where every day you have 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, however many you want, reaching out to work with you who are totally pre-sold. They're on your calendar. They're ready to talk to you. And you can have one conversation where you are enrolling them at $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 prices, even if they had no idea who you were before they clicked the ad. And I know that if you're steeped in this sort of the old way of thinking about marketing, where it's all about building this relationship and that takes time, I know that sounds radical, but that's what we do every single day. That's what we train our clients to do every single day. It is that possible. And what that sets you free from, it's unbelievable. It means you don't have to spend all this time blogging and doing all this busy work to try to establish a relationship and build an audience and build a following. It means that on the sales side, you don't have to spend all this time following up and following up and following up. It means that your business can be so much simpler than you think, where people see an ad, they click the ad. They come to some sort of presentation like a webinar or something, then they book a call, then they're on the phone with you the next day signing up for your high ticket stuff. It can be that simple. It's so much of what is being taught out there is just unnecessary stuff that people pile on. And it's all this extra busy work that they're trying to get you to do. We're about eliminating as much of that as possible. If you don't absolutely need to be doing it, you shouldn't freaking be doing it. And so your business can run so much more simply and so much more smoothly than they're telling you. You don't have to start at like a $27 ebook and then do a $97 thing and then a $127 thing until you finally get around to selling them something for a few $1,000s. You can do that right out of the gate. You don't have to follow up 25 times. You can enroll people on the very first conversation, even if they don't know you. If the relationship is set up properly and the marketing is set up properly, where they understand, hey, they have this problem and you have the solution, and that's the foundation of the relationship, and it's built on truth and integrity, you could do that all day, every day. And once you get that going, you can scale it through the roof. So I don't care whether your income goal in your business right now is to get to 50K a month or 100K a month or 200K a month. It can be done so much more simply than they are telling you. It can be so much more simple. And we prove it every day in our business and in our clients' businesses. We're not doing anything different than we teach our clients to do. We run ads, we put people through webinars, we get people on the phone, we enroll them. That's it. So it can be that simple, but you've got to be willing to open yourself up to that idea where you're saying, no, you know what? I don't want to do all this busy work. I want it to be simple. I want it to be clean. I want the right clients at the right price anytime I want. If that's what you want, then let's talk about how we can help you do that, guys. So go to clientsondemand.com/talk and let's have a real honest conversation about whether we can help you. It's possible that we can't. There's a lot of people that we talk to where it's like you're in some business model that this just isn't going to work for. And if that's the case, believe me, we'll tell you. But chances are it could work for you. Chances are this can massively simplify everything that you're doing. And if you want to find out whether or not that's true, go to clientsondemand.com/talk, book a call to speak to us, and let's put our heads together and see what we can figure out. Because it doesn't have to be as complicated as they're telling you. It really doesn't. When I built this business, I said, look, this is all the conventional wisdom. They're telling me I got to write a book. Great. They're telling me I got to blog every day. They're telling me I got to do all this extra stuff and then I got to build this huge audience first. Okay, great. How long is that going to freaking take? Great. Then they're telling me that once I've built this audience, I have to give them content and content and content and build this gigantic relationship and spend years doing that. And then maybe at some point I'll be able to finally roll out my $27 ebook. And then some of the people are going to buy that ebook. And when they do, great. Some of them they're going to want a $97 video course and they're going to want this. And then finally, one day I'll be able to offer them something for like $2,000. And then I'll get on the phone with those people and I'll sell them a $2,000 thing. But then I'm going to have to follow up with them 16 times to chase down the ones that didn't get it. And if I do all that work and then do like a big launch or something, eventually I'll be able to get some clients. It can be so much simpler than that, guys. I mean, literally one funnel, one ad, one presentation, one webinar, one phone call. It can literally be that simple. So I took all that conventional wisdom, I threw it out, and I said, look, what's the simplest possible process I can think of that still has a chance in hell of being effective? I didn't know it was going to work, but I tried it, and it did work. And then we started doing it with our clients, and it worked for them, and so on and so on. And now it's becoming the new standard. It's becoming the new normal because it's so much faster and so much cleaner than everything else out there. So if you want to work with the guys who originated this stuff, who are doing it every day, who've scaled it up to over $1 million a month in revenue, doing it this very simple way, go to clientsondemand.com/talk. We're the people that invented this stuff. We're the best in the world at it, and we're the best in the world at helping our clients execute these same ideas in their business too.
That's the key, Russ. I've seen every now and then you're going to get a freak of nature who can sell ice to an Eskimo. You know what I mean? He's
Totally.
just got that gift. He can think faster. He's got charm, charisma. But the reality is most of us didn't have that. And so one of the greatest testaments to me that I've watched, I went through the list of everybody in Millionaire Alliance, the list of people in COD that have been doing it. And the majority of them, the ones that kick ass, have never sold anything ever.
Exactly.
And so they come in here and they embrace it. They know that what we're talking about is true because they hated to be sold to. So when they show up and they get to the truth and they follow the structure, they get amazing results, and it feels good for you. It feels good for the client. And then they have a great relationship and they get great results. And it's amazing to me how many people, some of the ones that actually had to work harder, had to unlearn all the used car sales tactics they were bringing. That's what they thought. And once they trusted the truth of this approach and stopped treating people like commission checks, start treating them like fellow human beings who need help, the truth will enroll them. That's really it. If you're caring and you actually can deliver. If you can't deliver, you have no business asking for a dime. And so the call, the structure all work together to help you impact more people. And it doesn't have to be as crazy and ebooks and content and 15 follow-ups and all that grind. We're proving every day there's a better way.
Yeah, guys, it can be so much simpler. You can just start attracting the exact clients you want in a simple, clean way that sets up the relationship properly so that they're coming into your program for the right reasons at the right price. And then they're committed. They're ready to show up and do the work. They're ready to show up and do whatever you say so that, 6 months from now or a year from now, you can look back on dozens and dozens of clients that you've helped succeed because they came in and did the work and got the result and kicked some ass. And when you have that, it's an amazing feeling because it goes so far beyond the money. The money is great, don't get me wrong. But what really is going to stick with you, what really is going to make everything worthwhile is looking back on the incredible outcomes that you've gotten for client after client after client. They're out there, man. They need you. They're looking for you. If you're a relationship coach, there's people with broken relationships that need you today. If you're a health coach, there's people whose health is in jeopardy. They need you today. If you're a doctor, same story. If you're a business coach, there's all these businesses that are floundering that could be great, but they just don't have your help. They're out there and they're looking for you. And you owe it to them and to yourself to get your marketing dialed in and get your sales dialed in so that they can find you and enroll with you and work with you. And that's how you make a difference, guys. And yeah, you get the money too when it all clicks and you have this amazing business. But what really is going to stay with you is the difference you're making in the lives of your clients. So this strategy that we're talking about and these ideas, yes, they're, as far as I know, the fastest path to build a great business and scale it up so the money's pouring in. But also, you're setting up that relationship properly like we talked about. So these people are showing up to win. They're showing up to get results. They're not signing up with you because you're famous. They're not signing up with you because you have a book deal. They're not signing up with you because you have this huge audience or you're giving them a discount or you followed up with them 25 times and wore them down. They're signing up with you because they know they have a problem that you can help fix. And that is the proper, the best, the ultimate way to set up a great relationship with every client who comes to you. So guys, look, if you want to talk to us about how we can help you apply these ideas in your business starting today, go to clientsondemand.com/talk and book a call to speak to us.
Yeah, it's exciting to wonder, who out there right now realizes the truth of this. And it's like, guys, just read and look in the videos of all the different people and go back and look at the Violets, look at the Bryans, look at, the different people that are there. These are real people who were struggling, but they had a desire to serve people. And they didn't want to do it the old-fashioned way. They wanted something that worked and that resonated with their heart. And at the end of the day, guys, Russ is spot on. When you liberate somebody from suffering and you do that and you do it really well, how many people can you help? I don't know about you, but when I look at the news and I look out there, there are people suffering big. They need people like you to step up and get past it. And that's what's so great about the system. So let's have a conversation. Let's find out, can we help? If we can't, we will tell you. Let's find out what's working, what's not. And then let's look at where you want to go. And if we can do it, we'll show you what that would look like. If something else is better, we'll steer you to that. Sure. But do something, take action, and let's rock.
All right, superstars, that's going to do it for us today on today's show. Go to clientsondemand.com/talk to book a call to speak to us. And we will catch you guys on the next show. Mark, thank you so much, man. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye.